Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God.
Hey, hey.
It is Friday, February the 6th, 2026.
Yeah, it is Friday.
Yes, it is. Welcome to a fresh edition. Firing it up now.
Hey.
First Sky Omaha. In the morning. Money. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Once again, a fresh edition is happening right now. Glad you joined us here on this Friday, the 6th of February. I feel like my video always gets stuck on there. I don't know what's going on with this
Really?
internet.
Really?
Still internet problems around here.
Man, still giving you the blues, huh?
Still giving me the blues. Everything's lagging. Let us know how we look, how we sound. We
Man.
appreciate you giving us the feedback. Yeah, tough one. But yeah, thanks for getting up this early in the morning and joining us this morning on this Friday. We love to make it a Love Supreme Friday,
Hey.
but we got a lot to talk about today. So we'll get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and as you see, we have special guest Carol Blood coming in and joining us shortly. So stay tuned for that. Get some questions ready. She's running for OPPD District 3. So former Senator Carol Blood will join us and talk about her new ventures. And I got a lot of OPPD questions, so we
Yeah.
can't wait to talk to her. But yeah, thanks for joining us, buddy. How you feeling this morning?
Feeling good. Maybe could have used a couple more winks, but yeah. Other than that, feeling good. Definitely looking forward to speaking to today's guest, Senator Blood. It's always always a good time speaking to her. And yeah, definitely have a lot to get into today. A lot of things going on, but also want to keep it a little loose. Yeah. Also, I believe our book drops today, so yeah, excited about
Oh,
that. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
yeah. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that came out. Shout out to the whole crew over there, partners over at Omaha Public Library again for allowing us to take over for the book drop in honor of Black History Month. So yeah, learn about some books, learn about some documentaries, some research resources. Yeah, yeah.
Love it.
Check it out. How you feeling, man? What's going on with you?
Pretty good, yeah. Just not bad, not bad. I'm glad that we got some time coming up here. It's always a struggle with the tech. It's always a struggle with communications right now. There's always something up, so we're
Yeah.
just constantly rolling and trying to get it going so we can get on these shows and have some good conversations. So I'm looking forward to it. I say Leah Keister in the chat, giving us the Friday yippee skippies, buddy. I think it's your
Hey.
turn, ain't it?
Yeah, I do believe so. A happy fry, yippee, yip, yo, yip, yo, yippee, yip, yo.
You own it. You own it today.
Yeah,
That's what's
yeah. Been in the studio.
up. Get them chops back. That's what's up.
Yeah. I said
Pops in the chat saying good. Say again.
I said hip hop a hippie.
Hip hip hop, and you don't stop.
Yeah.
Pops gives us a good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. And Pops' birthday was it yesterday or today, Pops? Which one was it?
Hey.
Yeah, that's what's up. Let us know which day it was. Appreciate you being alive, staying
Yeah.
alive.
What'd you do?
Yeah. Well, how was you get dressed to go into the next room? That's what I do. I'm always like, what you doing for your birthday? Well, I'm gonna get dressed and go into the living room. Man, RG gives us a morning, y'all. What's happening? Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, first guy family, and happy TGIF, everyone. Yep. Also, Anthony Rogers Roy says a lot of OPPD questions, indeed. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Can't wait to, anybody who is feeling like they need to run and understands what some of the issues are over there and wants to go fix them. I'm anxious to talk to former Senator Carol Blood. Put some respect on her name
There you
on
go.
that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Also, Pop says you guys looking sound good for now. Yeah, for now. I heard that.
We'll see.
Keep your
Hold
fingers
on.
crossed on the tech.
Right.
Marlon Harrison gives Pops a happy birthday. That's what's up. Good morning, everyone.
Hey.
Heather Williams in the chat. Appreciate the fam getting up early this morning. Do us a favor, share the show on your page if you're on Facebook. I was wondering if Facebook was in the house. Heather Williams is here on Facebook, so there you go. Facebook is working. Appreciate that. If you're on YouTube, share the link. and just passing along to anybody who you think might want to jump into the conversation today. But lots to talk about today. Also, of course, this is a Friday, so we have a lot of things happening with the First Fridays that's going on here. We got First Fridays, and for those of you who don't know what First Fridays are, they're kind of a staple around a bunch of different cities, where it's a time to go kind of walk around, look at some art, be out and about. It's a celebration. And yeah, a lot of people get their start by showing their art at First Fridays. Benson out here in Omaha has a strong one. It's been going on for a while. Shout out to BFF, our partners over there. And now we have one in the village as well. So shout out to Empowerment Network and everybody that's putting First Fridays in the village on. As a matter of fact, we might as well jump into that and take a look at some of these flyers happening, the community updates going on.
Hey, yeah.
Jump in it tonight's the night. First Friday in the village at 24th and Lake, February edition. It's Black Love, baby. It's going down. So
Black
come on
love.
down, check it out. Art activities, of course, live music, movies, vendors, all kinds of stuff going on from 5:30 to 9:30 tonight, right here on the Deuce. So yeah, definitely come through. Hit that QR code. I think cover fee is $25. Looks like. Help pay for some of those musicians they're bringing out. I see Just B, Danny Cleve. So yeah, it's going down, and also like we said, our friends over there at Benson First Fridays is happening as well. Couldn't get that flyer up for whatever reason,
Hmm.
blocking me. But yeah, check out Benson First Friday if you're so inclined. I kind of like the idea of kind of floating around both spots and seeing what's going on around town. So yeah, if you were so inclined, definitely go check it out. Should be an interesting night tonight. Also, we got some words from Melissa Wright, who just left us. She was over at KMTV Channel 3. Now she's at KOB NBC in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So sends her regards, and she's over there, signed the contract over there, and is about to be on air there. I think she's already on air, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
doing her thing. So yeah, shout out to her. Best wishes. Too bad we couldn't keep her around here, but hey,
Yeah.
gotta do what you gotta do. You never know. She might come back. Never know.
Yeah. You never know what she'll find in Albuquerque as well.
This is true. This
They
is
might need her. I don't know what the situation is out there on the report.
Man, I can imagine. I know that she's happy to be closer to the West Coast too, where she's from. So unless she's trying to make her way back towards the LA
Yeah.
area, but yeah. So some warmer weather. I'm jealous. It's cool. Before we move on to last chance to get some free tickets for the Dry Longzo show that's coming up on February 19th at Rook Sokolov Theater. Shout out to Film Streams for that. Do us a favor, like and subscribe over on YouTube, and send us an email at firstskyOmaha@gmail if you want to take advantage of the tickets. This is the last day that we're going to do the ticket giveaway. So if you want to do that, please do those three things and hit us back. Also, the one that's coming even sooner than that, February 7th, is coming up here tomorrow. Looks like Ruth Sokolov Theater, Saturday, February 7th at 2:30 Film Streams. This is Straight No Chaser. This is one of my favorite documentary films of all time, featuring Thelonious Monk. And again, you have two options to do that. That's February 7th and the February 11th show. So if you want tickets to this, then go like and subscribe at YouTube. Hit us up at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. Let us know which date you're trying to get tickets for, and we'll do that. That'll be also today, last day for the giveaway for that. So yeah, come on through with that. One last thing before we get out of here. This looks very interesting to me. This Nebraska Enterprise Fund, cooperatives in your community, introducing the concept of cooperative business,
Hey.
owned and democratically. Am I saying it? How am I?
Democratically.
Is that what the word is? Democratically. I need to wake up. More coffee, please. Democratically controlled by their members. Whew, man. Yeah, that's rough.
How are you saying it before? I'm gonna have to
Dem-
steal that.
Demo. What was I saying? Demo
The mo-
critically or something like that. Gotta wake up. This is happening Monday, February 9th, 2026 from 5:30 to 7:30. MPCC 1101 Halligan North Platte in Nebraska 69101. So a little far out there, but I think it's going to be something interesting. I'm going to look a little further into what's going on here. But I like this idea of collaborative business for sure.
Hey.
And yeah, what that can mean. Yeah, so we'll take a look at that. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright posted data centers and community benefit agreements happening February 8th from 11 to 1. We'll definitely be talking about that here coming up too. It's kind of relevant to a lot of the conversation we're going to be having today especially with our special guest Carol Blood, and also what's going on with OPPD Energy, what's going on with these data centers. A lot of progression here. A lot of people that are understanding that when our electric bills go up, it's because of some of this stuff that's happening with these data centers, and that we already got a large group of people that are like not about it. So we'll definitely be diving into some of those things and talking about it as well. So appreciate you guys coming through today, and I'll save some more of those haps and stuff like that for a little later on in the show. But in the meantime, between time, I just wanted to jump into the chat real quick and see what's going on around here, what's happening.
Yeah, some love.
Arrows 402 says, I got Bad Bunny for the win in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Okay, man. I'll be
Hold
honest. We'll see how Ice acts up. They've been talking about trying to. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
They've been talking about a lot. I saw some stuff where Ice was talking about trying to go stand at the polls and intimidate people and all that.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that a little later.
Yeah, Ice. Yeah, Bad Bunny. I don't even know who's playing at the Bad Bunny concert this year. What's going on with the football that surrounds the?
He's doing Super Bowl. He's doing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, I know.
Which is a lot. But I don't know what I think he's gonna keep it very Puerto Rican though. I mean, that's he's not shying away in the face of MAGA on
Oh no,
his show or his country at all.
no. I'm looking forward to it. I
Yeah,
was gonna
man.
go to
Yeah.
the Kid Rock concert. This happened at the same time, but I was like, nah.
Yeah, that.
Shout out to Precious McKesson. She's out there living her best life too. Man, Puerto Rican got me looking at the islands like, man, I got to get back. It's going down.
Okay.
Yep, yeah, appreciate that. Also, Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Appreciate that. Alan Faison gives a happy belated birthday, cuz. Shout out to Pop's birthday, man. That's what's up. Show Pop some love in the chat if you would. Also, RG says Beezy about to get snapped with the wet washcloth by Big Mama tripping over his words. Man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I didn't get enough Joe yet. It's going down. Anthony Rogers right in the chat saying there are black people in Boricua as well, and Bad Bunny always lifts them up. That's real.
Yeah.
And he's a ally to Haiti and everywhere else around there. So
Yeah.
shout out to Bad Bunny, man. If I'm acting like I'm not a Bad Bunny fan, you're mistaken. I'm very, very about what that brother's doing for sure. So yeah, I was just joking around about the game. Like I'm not even I don't even know who's in the Super Bowl this year. I'm just gonna be going for the halftime show.
Hey.
That's what's up. Pop says, yeah, I hate to miss the Kid Rock show too, but America. It's already 7:13. If you believe in the concept of time, again, just want to thank everybody for joining us. Share the show if you would, buddy. What are we talking about today? What's first on the agenda?
Yeah. Man, let's see. What is today's thread? I guess we'll call it heavy on the workforce. Again, a lot of you have spoken out. Definitely going to touch on what's going on with the minimum wage situation, continuing the theme of this season, following the money, and asking politicians to get their hands out of our pocket, man. Let's call it what it is. Maybe for the first time, at least not in a long time, seen minimum wage going down. So we'll definitely have to talk about that and who's impacted by that. Also, give a shout out to our youth supporting the babies out there getting active. Also, in other news, man, definitely have to talk about kind of keeping it in this workforce situation, but something close to home for us. Of course, we're all about news gang. So anytime we see, movements in the media landscape, our eyes perk up. So again, definitely want to talk about what's going on with the Washington Post situation and the connection to the oligarchs, the tech industry, kind of behind that, who's pulling the strings, if you will, and also what this means for AI. Of course, we have a Senator Carol Blood coming on a little later on, and we've been talking about it here on the show as far as the connection between the failure of again the North OPPD plan to close down and switch its power source from coal, AI, data center usage, the need for more data centers, and even the state looking at data centers as possibly the future of the state's industry and economy. We got a lot to talk about. So again, as you've already said, a few people have questions. Definitely bring your questions, comments, and your concerns too. Again, when we speak to Senator Carol Blood a little later on. and get into what's going on with OPPD. Also, continuing to follow the money, you definitely have to talk about what's going on with Governor Pillen because this no bid contract seems to be causing a little more trouble than we initially anticipated. Again, there was a initial kind of explanation that hey, this is just it was an emergency bid. It wasn't that much. You know, this contract was actually for hundreds of millions of dollars, and we're only talking about 2.5 million. But seems to be not enough, not enough. So again, we'll definitely dive into where that situation is going and more. Of course, if there's anything we're not talking about throughout the next 2 hours, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Trump's talking about nationalizing voting. We got 6 to dismiss. Yeah, we got a lot to get into. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo, yo.
What's the word? What's the word?
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to this. I just want to ask everybody in the chat right now. Are you hearing Buddy? You hearing Buddy well enough? He's kind of low on my end, so let us know if you can
Yeah.
hear him and everything's cool. How the levels are. I appreciate that. Anthony Rogers Wright just said, "I heard Kid Rock is going to make a hologram of Charlie Kirk and bring him on stage to sing 'Walk This Way.'" I sure hope you joking about that.
I've actually heard similar whispers.
I think there needs to be there needs to be some people acting a fool if Rock This Way gets played like that. Don't be dissing the whew, craziness. Yeah, we'll get into it. Anthony Rogers Wright says the cover up is worse than the crime. State Auditor Foley on pig pilling. This is interesting. This Foley situation for sure. We'll have to jump into it. Most definitely. 7:16 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. We'll take a quick break and jump into the conversation in anticipation of our guest. Stay tuned. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God.
Hey.
I'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. We are always looking at what's going on here with communication. It's really what's heavy on my mind right now. And I know we usually set intention for the week on Mondays, but I'm setting some intention for myself on Friday. If I get out and about this weekend, I'm definitely going to be asking people, and I'm going to ask more of you all the time too. Where do you get your information? Where would you like to get your information? Where do you think you will be able to get your information when all the sources, the main sources of information, are compromised?
That part.
That's been happening for a while. We got off of Twitter because of one of the oligarchs getting down there and kind of messing up the whole scene. I just heard Kamala Harris is getting ready to launch something too. I think it's for the elections though, but she's launching some kind of information page. Yeah, we are subject to these oligarchs, and a lot of them own what they own here that we're getting our news from: Facebook, Meta, Google, and so on and so forth. One of them fools even owns a newspaper. We'll be talking about that coming up too. So. Again, I'll put that question out there. Where do you get your information? Where do you want to get your information? Where do you think we'll get our information from once we have to make shifts in how we communicate? I know that might be off subject, but let's go ahead and jump into the first conversation of the day. Get ready for that. I appreciate everybody. Oh, Wanda Lewis in the chat saying lowering the wages for 20 and under isn't fair due to young people share the same financial responsibilities. Also, employers might choose to hire in that age group to get more bang for their buck.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we certainly will.
We'll get into that. and it's not really off topic. First of all, Heather Williams is saying I am a little low, so we got one person saying I'm fine, one person saying I'm low. So
Okay.
yeah, let us know how I'm sounding on your end.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, before I get to touching stuff, let me know.
Yeah.
But yes, it is connected, Paul. It is connected because the whole point of having communication and the whole point of asking that question is how do you know what's going on? How does anybody know what's going on? And again, there's a lot going on that we need to know, especially when dealing with our tax dollars and the people that we elected to represent us. Are they doing that? I think we should know that type of information, and how else would we not, how else would we get that information if it wasn't for the likes of the Nebraska Examiners of the world, of the Washington Posts of the world? So we'll be getting into those, starting with the Nebraska Examiner and their report. Shout out to Aaron Sandiford for doing the work, for communicating what's going on with the people. And this is definitely something that we should be kind of paying attention to, especially when dealing with our tax dollars, talking about DED and Pillen in this no bid contract fight with the auditor. As brother Anthony Rogers Wright is already saying in the chat, in the headline read on the article, the cover up is worse than the crime. Again, if you don't know what we're referring to, there has been another questionable contract by the administrative branch of Nebraska's government, of course, referring to the St. Francis Ministries contract with DHHS, and now this questionable $2.5 million contract from the DED. And at the heart of it is an emergency call for no bid on the contract. Basically, in this situation, Pillen's office said that due to some quote unquote questionable, undescribed emergency, the bid process of this multi-million dollar contract was just foregone. I mean, look at just sidebar. Look at how they talk about and handle the North Omaha and South Omaha recovery funds.
Mm.
Just imagine if any of those grants or contracts or applications went through without any bid. Just they were just granted. Can you imagine how they would react? How they would, the questions that would be asked? Yet, here we are. Again, key for the auditor in this situation. Big shout out to Mike Foley for not only pressing the gas, but turning to the legislature to ask for help. And not only the legislature, but now, as Nebraska Examiner is reporting, the State Patrol for not only investigation, but possible prosecution on this situation. And really at the heart of it is not the amount of money that was given to this lobbyist who's possibly friends with Pillen, but how it was covered up. According to the auditor, he alleges the state did so as far as giving off the contract without listing a justification for the emergency required to let the deal skip the typically required process of bids. Secondly, Foley forwarded his allegation that in the course of his audit, people in state government may have attempted to deceive the auditor's office, which is a misdemeanor in Nebraska. Essentially, they flat out lied. Foley said that he was troubled that DED turned in a report required June 30th, only after he requested a copy in early July, and the state agency backdated it into June of 2025, which Foley said made it appear as if it made that legal deadline, which they didn't. Again, he says, we have received the auditor's referral. That's according to Susan Gage of the Attorney General's office, who, again, Attorney General Mike Hilgers, through a spokeswoman, confirmed receipt of the referrals as well as receipt of requests to investigate the same contract from a former, state senator. So again, Pillen spokeswoman Laura Strimple also said Thursday evening that Governor Pillen has been consistent. If a state employee engaged in illegal activity, they should be investigated and action taken if appropriate. So again, we'll see what happens with this situation. But I would say not a surprise from Trump Jr. But here we are following the money. What say you?
Yeah, I don't really have nothing to say on this one. I'm anxious to see what's going to end up happening. I'm kind of surprised that there is this kind of battle going on there. I'm not really familiar with a whole lot of what Foley has been doing, but this is super interesting. So we'll definitely see. I think somebody's power is getting, they feel like their power is getting taken away a little bit, and so they're bucking back. And good. I'm glad, because that's kind of what needs to happen around there. So, like you said, shout out to him for going to getting some support and trying to follow what needs to be followed to stand up to it. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
Yeah.
and again, for me, it's just I will point out the contract itself, the nature of the contract was a bioeconomy contract. So again, me personally, anytime I see anything dealing with uh, bio, ag, anything dealing with farming, biology, agriculture, food, and pilling, I'm kind of a little weary of what's going on because again, his family has one of the largest pig farms in the state, if not the nation. So as the governor, if he's using his position to make his industry a little favorable, that's a problem. That's corruption. That's what that is. And if we have a corrupt governor, we should know.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the where we're at in history right now with the corrupt leadership
On my
as
point.
the norm is the norm. Like
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. I mean, we can end the show now. You solved the whole thread. You just
yeah, yeah. It's well, why wouldn't that happen if in this climate somebody else gonna do something against the
I mean,
law.
if the leadership, if the leadership says it's okay, then it's open season, ain't it?
Seems like it. Except Anthony Rogers Rice says Mike Foley is the Elliot Ness of Nebraska, follows the letter of the law to a T. Okay.
That's interesting. Okay, that
All
is
right.
interesting. Mm.
Okay. And so he's saying Pilling's not untouchable. So all right.
I like what you did there. I like what you did there. So
Yeah.
I am curious. How will Foley respond to these allegations, kind of continuing the thread, if you will, if that's okay, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Going from one elected official
Well,
possibly using their
hold on. Before you make that connection, I just thought about something that had to do with the DED situation you were just
okay,
talking
okay,
about as
what you
well.
got? What you got?
Because I did sit in a meeting where we talked about that NSORG, the North Omaha money that is coming through the DED, and rumor has it some people are getting, even though they got approved for it, that they're getting money held back. There's something going on with that situation as well, and so it's really interesting to see that their name is involved in this, just handing over
Mm,
some money to somebody when everything that's happening. So there's there's also a place to follow the money, also a place to keep our eye out on that situation too. So and then every time I hear about that kind of stuff, I'm like, man, McKinney and Wayne was right. They had to they had to go back and keep their eye on that situation
man,
because they got some stuff going on. So yeah. So anyway, follow the money, keep your eye on what DED is doing as well.
I think because the reality is they don't want you to have none. That's just the reality. They don't want you to have no money. And this latest, actually, the first bill that they passed in this legislative session is kind of proof of it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know where I'm going, but it's more than they don't like us or they just don't want us to have money. And the corruption goes deep. Let's just dive into it. And this is something that chat chimers have already shouted out. So big shout out to actually several chat chimers being vocal, not just on Friends of First Sky on Facebook. Check it out, but also just in previous chats talking about Jane Raybould. And let's dive into it.
Mhm.
Again, moving from one elected official possibly using their seat of power for their own gain to another. Again, Jane Raybould, for those who don't know, is the legislator, the senator who introduced LB 258, which would lower the minimum wage for 14 to 15-year-olds from the current $15 an hour to 13.50. 16 to 19-year-olds will be paid only 13.50 for the first 90 days of training for the job, and then after that 90-day probationary period, if you will, that minimum wage will actually go up to the real minimum wage. Now, again, big shout out to a lot of people that have been actually very vocal and friends of about this situation. Shout out to Senator Megan Hunt, who actually had a lot to say about this. One second while I find her quote. She says, in the middle of an affordability crisis, the legislature's first act of 2026 is cutting the wage of Nebraska workers. Our families are asking how to keep up with prices. We're answering by cutting their paychecks. Nebraskans are struggling with rent, groceries, college loans, child care, property taxes, and gas. And the legislature's very first bill passed this year, you guessed it, lowering wages after voters already passed a law to raise them. Groceries cost the same whether you're 17 or 37. Rent costs the same. Gas costs the same. But this bill says that if you're young, you'll earn a special exploitation wage engineered by Senator Raybould and her allies in the legislature who think your labor is worth less. And again, to put this into context, Senator Raybould is the former CEO of B&R Stores, which is the parent company of Russ's and Super Saver grocery stores, which is quite interesting because if you think of, what are some of the first jobs that a teen might have? Grocery store is one of them. Actually, I have many friends who worked at Super Saver. I believe the one on 90th and Fort. If you remember, there was a Super Saver out on 90th and Fort. Had a couple buddies that worked over there as their first job. What say
Yeah,
you?
it is a kind of a young person's kind of first, bagging job. I think I had a job at a supermarket at one point for about 5 minutes.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, so that's super interesting. She's the one that introduced the bill in the first place,
Yes,
too.
yes, yes,
On
yeah.
top of that, yeah, that sounds like that sounds crazy. That sounds like I mean, on the surface, it just looks like somebody who owns a bunch of a bunch of businesses that employ young folks and is just trying to get a cheaper wage for them. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. I thought we were going the opposite direction when it came to raising minimum wage, but I guess not only are we lowering the age for kids to work, but we're also going to pay them less. And it really thinks when we talk about this paternalism in this state a lot too, that's what it makes me think of too. Is that there's probably people going, well, young people are get to depend on their mother and their father for things, and so they
Man,
don't need so much money. And
man.
like everybody has this white picket fence situation they think exists everywhere, and that kids aren't having to pay for real stuff.
You know that's the ideology behind this. Like what does a 15, 16-year-old need to buy? Like 18-year-olds aren't kicked out of the house the day they turn 18 in some communities.
Oh, and we ain't even talking about 18. I mean, there's 16,
Right,
17 people are
right.
already 15 sometimes in households that need it. Kids become the breadwinners, or at least the contributors to the family. So that doesn't mean it's just crazy. It's just kind of crazy. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of that they would be like, why do they need this? Why do they need a higher wage? This is an entry level job. They come on, man. And furthermore, it, they are. Yes, I don't know. It's frustrating to think about why somebody would do that.
A Beezy blast. I see a Beezy blast a brewing.
Yeah, yeah. It's just interesting to see that. It's interesting to I want to understand like what's your reasoning behind why teenagers that are working needs to have a lower wage. Just what would be the reason? Uh, Furthermore, on this story, there's who'd you say was calling for a boycott? It was the young.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Young Democrats, actually. To
Shout out
Anthony
to
Rogers' right point, he's saying in the chat, and she is a Democrat, making it clear where she lands on the side of the aisle. But again, what kind of Democrat is she is really the question. But yes, yes, it is very interesting. Big shout out to the young Democrats. We always talk about young Republicans and how they're active. And I always personally ask the question, like, okay, where's the young, where's the secession planning for the Democrats? Where's the young Democrats being active? And they're being active against their own. They're calling for a boycott of Russ's and Super Saver grocery stores as a response to minimum wage being cut for youth, for young folk. And it is interesting when you think about just labor laws in this country in general. And I think about the early days of, some of the pre-labor laws and how youth were treated in their like in the work environment. Like, like it was bad for kids in some of these environments. So again, just when you think about labor laws in this country centering children, it's kind of always been a thing.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And this is such a blatant kind of deal. Like they're saying it right here on this flyer. Jane Raybould pushed LB 258 through legislature against the will of the people. Her family profits from these grocery chains. When political power and corrupt and corporate profit overlap, accountability matters. Our dollars are political. We're choosing to spend them elsewhere. Shout out to Young Democrats for putting
Yeah,
this together. But yeah, it's such a blatant story. It's just like, well, yeah, I'm kind of done with super saver. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And I mean, Raybold isn't, being shy about it as far as how it will impact employers. Again, is she on the side of the workers or the employers, the mega corporations? She says that employers will be forced to cut costs by eliminating jobs altogether, saying that this legislation will aid small businesses like Urban Alley, who is again actually the founder of Urban Alley, speaking against this, saying, "I've never seen minimum wage go down like it's only gone up." So again, not many people supporting this move, but there you have it.
I will say this on this subject though, as a business owner, I do understand having to weigh how much money that you're bringing in compared to how many people you can hire and so on. Now, I don't think the solution for myself and for my business is to bring somebody on for way less than or not bringing people on at a living wage. But at the same time, when you have it also depends on the industry. If I had a fast food place or something like that, I can't necessarily pay somebody 70 a year with
Hmm.
benefits to work at the fast food place. So I understand. So I understand that, from a business perspective, you just said something that triggered that with me. Like, are they on the side of the business owners or the workers?
Hmm.
And business owners need to be looked after too. They're the ones that are providing business. There's the ones that are hiring folks. They're the ones that keep the money the flowing. I think there is a difference between major corporations like you mentioned too, and other small businesses like
Right.
the even the businesses that her family owns or she's connected to aren't mega corporations. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
they're
it's not
still
Walmart.
right, right. Which Walmart is now getting ready to be $1 trillion company, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Which
not Walmart, but at the same time, it's not the Village. The Fair Deal Village grocery store. It is a chain.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many other things that you can kind of think of to cut some costs for business owners,
Hmm.
rather than the first thing be lower the minimum wage for people for kids working,
Hmm.
um, and for that to be and knowing what we know about the legislature now and how the legislature works and how much effort you got to put in trying to get something passed over there to put all that energy into lowering the minimum wage for kids. I mean, is there any other solution that can satisfy that can keep people paid and business owners able to keep doing business? I can't imagine that there's not.
I definitely hear you on that. I will say though, taking consideration with this, the fact that the people voted to have the minimum wage at $15 an hour,
Right.
starting at $15 an hour, to increase in an incremental fashion.
Right.
So again, to have the people vote for a thing, and then to have the legislator or the senators who are representing the people come back and kind of go the opposite direction. It's interesting.
It is. It is. Marlon Harrison in the chat saying, I remember a lot of people working at No Frills, Bakers, Hy-Vee when I was in high school. Definitely a
Oh yeah.
young person's kind of job. Brother Pena Valadares gives us a hello. How you doing? Good morning. Also, Pop says, yeah, they're trying to buck child labor laws. He says they want to take them back to Oliver Twist. Please, sir, I want some
Man,
more.
I'm saying chimney sweeps and factory workers. Yeah, yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Bringing it back. Kids is the workhorses around here.
Man.
Um, people are the base of Russell stores, Brother Pena Valadares says. Okay. Anthony Rogers Rice says, what if the fast food place is McDonald's, who have plenty of money? This
Mm.
is why we need to unionize all workers. Our labor has value. Our labor is an extension of our lives. That's why we strike. I hear that. Same thing. I was just thinking about that thing with Walmart. I heard that Walmart is about to be $1 trillion company, but they still pay minimum wage. People are
Yep.
working there still on benefits and everything else.
Yep.
And if they're about to be $1 trillion company and hasn't raised wages, then what are they doing? Also, RG in the chat says, "Man, look, B and R got Lincoln on lock for groceries. They're not Walmart. They do real well."
I'm
Okay.
saying, I'm saying, we're not talking about your multinational mega corporations. What we're talking about really is, these state senators and state politicians who have these statewide radio and media companies who have these statewide, and they're trying to lock it down. This is what's going on. It's not the multi mega billion. Well, it is on the federal level, but the
It's
state,
both.
this
Yeah.
is a mad great. Right, it's both. It's both. Which is the point. Which is the point. This is the political environment that we're all living in.
Right.
It's a mad grab for the business.
Yeah,
Everything's for sale.
I hear it, and I really think it's the ideology, is the attitude. It's really what we're against. Like I said, we have to figure out how to keep small business and medium sized businesses able to hire people and pay them some decent wages. If you low, if I know that's what they're thinking going into this, but
Mm-hmm.
we gotta come up with something else. You can't just, the ideology then kicks in. Well, what are the kids don't need money? They're home with their mother and their father behind their white picket fence. So the ideologies kick in on on what solutions they come up with. And if that's what the lawmakers are doing, especially lawmakers who their constituents have all told them we want something different, and they're just going to disregard that and go and try to push their agenda and ideology, and it just so happens to help them out. Like you were saying earlier about anything bio,
Yeah.
anything bio and environmental that Pillin is pushing through, remembering that he has the biggest pig farm in the Midwest. So yeah, you got to keep these things in mind for sure. And I definitely think this qualifies under this whole follow the money situation in a big way.
Big
So
time. Big time.
yeah. Also, one last comment here. Marlon Harrison says, "I fear this might cut jobs from older people if they pay people less." That's
That's
another
true.
thing to
That's
consider
true.
too, right?
That's true.
Yep.
When you think of people who are in retirement age but still need to work, which there's a lot of folk like that, a grocery store might also be a landing spot for them as well. So, grocery store is kind of a place for people coming into the workforce and going out of the workforce to kind of find employment. And yes, if grocery stores can pay younger people cheaper for the same job, then you kind of know where they're going to go.
Yeah. Well, where we're going to go is to a quick break, and then we're going to bring in our special guest that's waiting in the wings. Can't wait to speak to her, ladies and gentlemen. Carol Blood will be joining us, so stay tuned. Get your questions ready. I will be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God. Stay tuned. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God, and we have Senator Carol Blood in the chat with us. Good morning. Good morning.
How you guys doing?
Doing good. It's been a long time.
All right.
It has. I hid out for about a year.
You did. You hid out. Okay.
I did.
Well, what was the reason for the hideout?
Just needed a break.
Heard that.
Yeah, heard.
Heard that.
Recharge. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So,
Are
okay,
you-
cool.
Gotta take care of me sometimes.
Hey,
I heard
at
that.
home making up them wings.
Got to make them famous wings. Yeah, we never
I
forgot
know.
that.
When are you guys gonna arrange for me to bring those to you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Say less. Say less.
All right.
We'll be in touch. Give my
We'll
people
be in
a touch.
touch. Yeah. We've
right.
been talking about that for years because every time we ask anybody, where's the best wings in Omaha? I was like, the best answer that has been here so far has been Carol Blood saying, my house. Yes.
There you
yeah.
go. I had someone actually talk to me at a grocery store that was checking me out one day who said that that was the most hilarious answer they'd ever heard as well. And it was, I didn't know her from Adam, but it was kind of fun to hear that back at me.
Very
Man.
nice.
Oh, shout out to you, listener. Shout out.
Shout out for real. Well, welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. You said you took a year off, or took some, hit out for a year. Do you still though kind of like keep up with the drama of the legislature and or are you taking a real break?
How can you not if you watch the news, right? If you
Right,
keep up on
right.
the news, you have to keep up on the legislature. I think I left at an opportune time.
Why you
Mm,
say
It's
that?
kind of it's kind of crazy there right now.
crazier than
Mm.
when you were there, huh?
Yeah, like it's nonsensical, and people
Wow.
are pushing bills that aren't obviously for the greater good of their constituents. And all of these ballot initiatives being just taken down. What's that about?
Wow.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
Medical marijuana, minimum wage. It's
Mm-hmm.
like nobody has a voice anymore in Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it a while as far as senators undermining the voice of the people, and
Yeah.
you know it kind of really jumped out to me when we kind of saw how the voucher situation played out. You know, it went to the ballot. The people spoke about it. The people, exercised their right, had their voice heard, and yet here we are, still debates and still trying to push it. So very, very interesting. And yeah, I appreciate that answer. But here we are. You're getting back into the political sphere, the political fray.
I am.
And this is something that is interesting. OPPD you're running for. So what is the actual position and why get back into politics?
Well, I think for me, the motivator was I was asked.
Oh,
And I took, to be really honest, I took several months to think about it, to make sure that I definitely wanted to get back into politics. But the more that I listened to the board meetings and the more I talked to people, my folks actually live in Florence. So I talked to a lot of people in the area of the North Omaha plant. I mean, it became really clear to me that OPPD has broken its promise.
mm,
And the amount of megawatts that we're not talking about is really not high, right? We're not talking about anything that's a huge burden. And we know, if we've watched those board meetings, that they told us that the replacement generator has already been constructed.
mm,
We also know that one of the highest sources of pollution, if not the highest sources of pollution in North Omaha, is that power plant.
mm-hmm,
And we've had experts from not just Douglas County Health Board, but from around the country tell us that it was, pseudoscience that they shared with the board. It wasn't real
mm.
science. You've heard me say this
Wow.
before. I'm going to use the F word, right? Facts, facts, science, and data.
Right.
Um, and I've always said that as long as I was a state senator and on the city council. We don't have to pick between public health and your quality of life in North Omaha. And I think that it's gotten to the point of being ridiculous. And I see so many people that have been on that board forgetting who they serve.
Mm.
Mm, mm.
And which is the
Um,
same reason I ran for public office in the first place, right? Is to
right.
give people a voice and to remember who you serve.
Yeah.
I am kind of curious, because there are some questions about the board and the leadership at OPPD in the chat. I do want to get to here in a second, but I do want
Yeah.
to ask about the general conversation around OPPD, like you're talking about the pollution and the reason for it all, and more specifically, kind of towards the end of last season, the beginning of this season of ours. There was a lawsuit that went down, and then there was a vote that happened, and then the lawsuit was magically pulled, and I'm
Mm.
kind of curious to your thoughts on the timing of all that, and the bigger picture of what's really going on with OPPD power plant and power in general throughout Nebraska.
Sure. I mean, as outsiders, I think pretty much everyone I've spoken with feels it's very suspect. I can't prove anything, which is unfortunate.
Right.
But I also I think about what Senator McKinney said in that one hearing or board meeting. Excuse me. I still have hearing in my head from being a senator. Um, why was everybody on the board so concerned about a lawsuit when our attorney general never wins lawsuits, right?
Mm.
um and I don't say that to be a smart aleck. I say that because so much of what we're talking about is just common sense, and they're taking something that's simple and making it hard. But again, I go back to the thing that sticks in my craw and the people that I've talked to in North Omaha is that they didn't keep their promise. And how many times in North Omaha has that happened?
Right.
Right? Um, we can't let it keep happening.
Especially with them, they've been kicking the can down the road a long time on that
Right.
tip for sure. You're running for District 3. I just want to make certain we know where that's at. Where is District 3?
Sarpy County, which
Okay.
is where I live. I live in Bellevue.
Okay.
But just like the legislature, when you represent your constituents, you also represent Nebraska.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So we know that getting good people from all the districts to address this issue and to really encourage transparency. And that, if you look at my track record, that was something that I worked very hard on, trying to get rid of black money in campaigns, passing bills that wouldn't allow people that had NADC fines to run for office. We need to start pulling back the curtain. We need greater transparency on the OPPD board. And that's something I feel I bring.
So when even though you're going to be representing Sarpy County probably does not have the same kind of environmental issues and stuff like
Right.
that other places do. So that you feel like the biggest challenge is North Side Omaha and this OPPD coal plant. That's kind of the biggest issue when it comes to some of the atrocities that OPPD is bestowing upon us. Not just that part of the coal plant part, but also we begin getting approached by everybody who's talking about the electric bills rising for everybody too. And is that the same in Sarpy County as it is in our county?
Yeah,
Rising
absolutely.
all the way around.
It's and we always say it. We're lucky because we have public power, and our rates are lower than many states in the country. But then I look at the salaries of the upper echelon, and and I think that I'm a big labor person. I think money should trickle down, not trickle up in organizations, and I think it should be reflected in the rates. We want reliability. We want economic development. We can have those things, and we can correct the problem and keep the promise, because we have to keep reliable energy affordable. Period. For North Omaha, for Sarpy County, for everybody who gets OPPD, Elkhorn, and we have so many opportunities. We do have solar, we do have wind, which are low cost and can be done quickly. But then when you hear about other people that are running for OPPD board, they want to build other things. You build those other things, you're going to talk about waiting at least 10 years and rates will go up. It sounds like a panacea. It sounds like a wonderful thing. But we know OPPD just joined the nuclear consortium. I can never say that word. We know that they are moving towards better things, but they keep. I don't understand why no one's challenging what they're being told on the board. It's so obvious. They're being told, need to know things. It's like you're in the military. You only need to know this. And I don't know how stupid they think ratepayers are. That's the thing that irks me.
I think they think we're very, very, very stupid. As a matter of fact, jumping to the chat now, Anthony Rogers Wright is kind of our resident environmental soldier here, and I knew he was going to have a lot of questions. This question is standing out, his first and foremost question, because this goes to what you're saying about like how silly I think they think we are sometimes. He says, first and foremost, what are the guest thoughts on the fraudulent health risk assessment released by OPPD? Should it be rescinded, and should OPPD CEO resign for such behavior? You talked a little bit about that assessment already, and how and that was the thing that got me mad. I was already a little bit perturbed about my electric bill going up. But as soon as they try to act like there was no environmental risk, there was no
Yeah,
environment. I got
right,
all my cousins got asthma, but this is not a problem. I
right.
felt like they were trying to assault our intelligence. Where you stand there on that?
Well, I think you kind of just answered my question. Thanks for that. No. Yeah, no, I agree. Again, I go back to science, facts, and data. When I saw that report, and then I listened to the community roundtable that they made available on Zoom and in person when we had the experts from all over the United States come and talk to us. And those are people that didn't have, a dog in the fight, right?
Right.
That they were just talking to us about the facts, about the science, about the data, and they made it clear that that report was not a peer-reviewed report that told us the truth. And it's kind of like when people tell me they've Googled something and it's like, and Google says this, and it's like, you really should start your Google searches with, is this true? Is this peer reviewed? And then whatever the question is.
Right.
Because so many people, they're like, I saw a white paper on it. And I hear the most silly comments about our energy. And it's like, take a step back, learn how to use your search engines,
Right.
and take a step back and don't believe everything that people put in your face without researching it. And as far as letting the CEO go, I know that is a board responsibility, and that's something that, when elected, I think we have to really consider what's going on with staff and how do they relate to us, and are they blowing smoke up our skirts?
Mhm.
And I have to say, I feel like I have a pretty good detector for that. And I've shown that over and over again over the last 16 years when I served in office. I can't say that without a cuss word. You can't, it's hard to fool people that are paying attention, right?
Right,
Right.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Um, man, yeah.
Um, and and look at some of the people that are running.
Hmm.
One of the people that's running in my district, when there was a big problem fixing the roads in Nebraska, instead of trying to find ways like bonding, which we do now, bonding and other ways to pay for things because the budget was such a mess during his time in office, he decided it was better that we start paying a 6% tax on our gas. Like, we're going to be bringing people onto the board who have a track history or a track record of raising your taxes.
Wow.
Why do we feel that those people are going to have our backs?
Yeah.
And why don't we have more people that live and work like us on that board,
Right.
right?
That's a great question. Actually, on that point, I mean, you kind of touched it on the salaries, but in the chat again, Anthony Rogers Wright asking, does the guest think it's fair that OPPD can raise our rates and raise their salaries with little to no public oversight and no public consent? How is that public power?
It depends on which wages you're talking about, if you're talking about the workers or the upper echelon, but no, I don't think that's fair.
I believe he's talking about the upper echelon. I think it's been
Yeah.
reported the CEO is making just short of $1 million per year. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's some money.
And I got
there is.
you ain't lying. That's some money. And what's interesting to me is that this is the people. We talked to a lot of people in North and South Omaha, especially, and people that have not been paying attention to any of this stuff are walking up to me with, look at this, look at these salaries.
Mhm.
Because I think people are really kind of searching for, like, what is going on with my electric bill, and why are these people getting this much? I thought this was a public company, and people are very upset, and people that I don't normally pay attention to this kind of stuff is coming up to us and saying that. So I think they're reaching the boiling point. Also, we got to kind of jump into this situation with the data centers. We got to talk about
Yeah,
data centers
yeah.
and
I,
what this means as well. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I did want to dive into that here soon, but before we get into that, I did want to ask another question by Anthony Rogers, right, which is interesting as far as the source or the connection, the national connection of Omaha and Nebraska's power plant. He says, does the guest have thoughts on the idea of Nebraska leaving the Southwest power pool and becoming standalone? Is that something that could, in your opinion, impact our rates, or is that something that the state is even capable of doing? Per the sources that they already have via solar, things like
I
that.
think that that could possibly be a mistake, especially if we were to have a
Mm,
winter. We've had winters before where, we've needed that support. And I think that it's something that should definitely be looked into deeper because there's some things that have concerned me about it, but I'm not sure that leaving it is the solution.
Hmm.
I think sometimes you have to remember who your partners are and are they going to be there when things go down, when things go south. And I think in many ways we've been there for them. But I need to learn more about it. So am I concerned about it? I'm concerned about things that affect the rates and the people in Omaha.
mhm.
But I also know, excuse my voice, and I also know that you have to be careful when it comes to partnerships and public power.
Hmm.
Definitely, definitely. But with that said, to get into the, to with time, we're just now at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock now,
Hmm.
Central Time.
Yeah.
But the data center of it all, because
Yeah.
it does come into mind. One, we're going to need, of course, elected officials on the board, people representing the power that are willing to stand in between the power districts and these tech companies who are trying to push, for tech companies and politicians who are trying to push for data centers. And maybe being a part of a multi-state situation like the Southeast Power Pool could give you a little more support in fighting that on a multi-state level. But what are your thoughts about what we're seeing with the proliferation of data centers and the possibility of them specifically coming to Nebraska and what that means for
Um,
OPPD?
so first of all, I know that data centers are going to need to make generate even more electricity because of AI, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
huge. But one of the things that I really support is actually going on in other states where the data centers know that the grids can't support them any longer now with AI. And so they're being encouraged and supported as they start generating their own utilities, natural gas turbines, fuel cells. One of the organizations I looked into that has on site generation was Stargate project in Abilene, Texas. They did 10 gas turbines, fuel cell deal data. Bloom Energy is trying to secure some major deals with firms like Brookfield for fuel cells that run on gas. I mean, gas isn't ideal, but it's a quick solution, and I'd rather do that than coal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really, if we don't start pushing for that here in Nebraska, we got to start looking at what's going on nationally. We know that 16% of US energy by 2023 is going to be to data centers.
Mm.
16%. What do you think that's
Mm.
going to do to our rates the way it's going right now?
Right.
So, if we're going to bring data centers for economic development purposes, then we need to encourage them to go ahead and generate their own utilities. It's being done because the grids can't handle it.
So just to be clear, where you don't mind data centers coming to Nebraska as long as they bring their own energy with them, or are you against them coming at all because of the raising of the rates and so on and so forth? Where do you particularly stand on that if you're going to be on the board and voting on such things?
Right. I think that if they bring their own energy, they should be welcome because they provide good paying jobs, especially for our young people that we're trying to keep in the state and prevent the brain drain. They provide good jobs during the construction phase.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that the solution is right in front of us, but we're always so quick in Nebraska to, we do the cash cow thing, right?
Mm.
How can we accommodate you and give you as much TIF money and as much tax breaks? I mean, half of the tax laws that we have in the state of Nebraska were done to accommodate a particular business,
Right.
right? Which is again crazy. Uh, but
Yeah.
and then those are taxes that don't get paid, and then our taxes keep going up, and um, it always seems backwards to me in this country. So that's how I feel about data centers. I feel like data centers should be welcome, but I think that because our grids can't support them as AI becomes a huge issue and they require more generation, they can do it themselves.
Hmm. Okay. I appreciate you clarifying that. Definitely know where you stand on that. So just to kind of back up for my own personal understanding about what's happening here. You're running for District 3 to be on the board, board gets a salary? I'm looking at Anthony Rogers right asking. He says, no, I'm also talking about the board members who raise their salaries too. So board members get salaries along
Um,
with. Mhm.
yeah, I think it's more than what I made in the legislature, which is 12,000 a year.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said,
I have no idea what it is, to be really frank. I think they bumped it to 30, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, let us know, Anthony Rogers, right, if you know. But the main thing is the upper echelon of the CEOs and everybody that's making close to $1 million, and then the board as well. But the point is that you're coming on there to try to even out some of the fairness here, and really address this problem with the pollution that the North Omaha plant is putting out. From my understanding, they took down one portion of it and started some natural gas situation. They didn't continue on to do everything they had promised to do. And your goal when you get elected is to make sure that you're pushing for them to make that change. Even though there's problems with gas and fracking and everything else, you still think that that's the way to go, other than coal. Is there a long-term solution that you have in your purview, though, as far as what we should change over? Are you pro nuclear, or what's your solution beyond gas and coal?
I believe in wind and solar. It's inexpensive. It doesn't hurt the environment. That's always my number one choice. I think that nuclear is something that OPPD is looking into, and we have to watch it carefully. I don't think we need to invest in any one type of energy, right? We need to have a portfolio of energy, because if we do that, then we can keep the rates down. But if we're always looking for the next best thing, who do you think that costs money? Who pays for that?
Yes,
we do.
It's going to come right down to us, right?
I go back to, we can have reliability and we can have economic development. We don't need to make people the collateral damage, the rate payers, the health of people who live in North Omaha. We can do better. I think the thing that everybody should remember is that we're really talking about a small level of megawatts when we talk about that North Omaha plant and moving it forward, right? And we know that replacement generator or generation has already been constructed. And we also know that the other part of that is in storage somewhere. So what's the holdup? There's a holdup, right?
Well, a lot of people are saying that the holdup is that there are going to be some data centers coming that's going to need that energy, in all these new construction and new things that's happening around North Omaha, Airport Park, all the places that are primed to, for people to try to bring these data centers there. So that I feel like word on the street is, this is not confirmed, but word on the street is that they're now kicking the can down the road again, because they're going to need this energy when these data centers come, and that's kind of been a problem. Which has caused us and a lot of other chat chimers and people, associated with First Sky Omaha, to look into that situation about data centers, and how, even though you said they bring jobs, they kind of don't really bring too many jobs. They
bring good paying jobs.
A few good paying jobs, right? But compared to the environmental situation that happens when they come, again, if they bring their own energy, that's a solution. But if they bring their own energy, it might be, like you said, gas generators and stuff like that. So they might be adding to the situation a little bit as well. But I think that what I'm really kind of just understanding is that what I really want to know is do you have faith in the fact that when you get elected, you will be able to get them to stop kicking this can down the road on making the changes first and foremost?
I do. I go back again to my track record. I'm a minority party, and I have gotten a lot of really important bills that have changed people's lives for the better. Not the sexy stuff, but the stuff that actually change our lives, right? Make us have a better quality of life. And I think that's my job as a public servant. So yeah, I do. I believe in transparency, and when I get on top of something, I'm like a dog with a bone. right? We all know that about me. It's not something that I can hide. And I think there's several other candidates that I look forward to working with that feel the same. You know, I'm not going to be I'm not going to have somebody take away my voice, because then they take away the voice of my constituents.
Right.
Right.
And I didn't just fall off a turnip truck. Like, I'm not going to sit there in board meetings and blow smoke up my skirt without giving them some powerful questions and putting it on record what the heck they're doing.
Right.
And that's what we're missing right now, right?
Big time.
Yeah. I would kind of say that's kind of the big takeaway for me that I'm getting from you, and I will say that from my purview, how OPPD has been operating is business as usual. It has been operating as an entity that nobody's really paying attention to, nobody really knows too much about. You know, it's just we provide this energy. Your lights come on, give us money. I mean, that's really kind of the vibe that we get from OPPD. So to have somebody there, you know, to ask questions, you know, to kind of, hey, what's this about? That can go a long way. And I do also want to double down and just acknowledge what you said as far as that feeling like, you know, as far as the board themselves, it's not even fully like they themselves are nefarious. It is kind of almost like a need to know basis, and they're, you know, filling the seat, having a job, holding a seat, but what's going on with the state's power, I think, is coming from a higher up. To your point, Paul, as far as the intention behind it, they haven't said it directly. As far as, yes, we're kicking the can down the road for OPBD to keep this for the data centers, but they have said there is intention to make power cheap for the data centers. They didn't say how they were going about making it cheap. I think we can figure that out on our own.
Right.
But they did acknowledge that there is intention by the state of Nebraska to entice data centers to come to the state. They've already, you know, started the first digital bank. It's already coming. It's already coming. So to your point, Senator Blood, about, you know, data centers having their own power, I do think that is a step in the right direction as far as getting them off of our power grids and getting them out of our hair, if you will. But I do think that ultimately, and this is just for the listeners out there, whoever can figure out how to figure out this power and this water problem for these data centers, you're going to get very, very rich. I'm just putting that out there. Whoever figures this problem, because data centers are coming. I think that's something we can agree on. Data centers are coming. I don't think nobody's going to necessarily just stop data centers from growing and coming. They're coming. How can we figure out, again, whoever can figure out the energy problem for these data centers, you're going to be very, very rich. I'm just saying.
Well, I encourage you to follow Bloom Energy, because they're doing some really major deals across the country and coming up with some good ideas.
Bloom Energy. Okay.
There you go.
Totally. One thing I'm excited about too, I know we're coming to the end here, but one thing I'm excited about too is what you just said about other colleagues that you are excited to work with on this, and it's not just going to be you in there fighting by yourself. I'm hoping that there's some other people there that you said you're excited about getting down to the bottom of it. So we appreciate your efforts and your reasons behind why you want to do what you want to do. It's a very complicated issue, and there's a lot of moving parts. I don't envy this thing. Like you said, you had to take some time to think about whether or not you wanted to jump into this, and I can understand why.
Right.
Yeah, I like a challenge. You know, I fought for years for the people of Meade for the Alt-N plant, and where the state was also complicit. People have to stop being collateral damage in Nebraska. From the hog farms that poison the water to the Alt-N plant that poisoned a community and surrounding waterways. You know, we've got to stop assuming that everybody that works in government has our best interest at heart, because that's just unfortunately not true.
I would actually say you assume the opposite, and you'll be more likely to hold them accountable.
But before we let you get out of here, there was a couple things I saw on your page. I see that you're very heavily involved in some of the garden stuff around here, and the seed stuff, and the farming.
Okay.
And how is that inform your life and your how much time you spend on those things? And I see you're behind some farmers markets and all kinds of stuff going on. What got you into the farm?
Well, Paul, I grew up on a farm.
Okay.
I moved to the big city of Omaha in 1979,
The
the
big
day
city.
after high school graduation. Because I had to be with my peeps. Because
Right.
growing up in rural Nebraska was square peg, round peg.
Okay.
But I believe in urban ag. I think that, we always hear from politicians that ag drives our economy. But we never talk about urban ag. And, we talk about property rights a lot. Well, one of the things that you have the right to do is not have any grass and, grow your own food and live a sustainable life. And one of the things I've always felt is that it's like a puzzle, right? You have to live it, grow it, and teach it. And when I see so many people that are, still struggling when it comes to food insecurity, I feel like, one person can and does make a difference. And when you work with others that believe that as well, you can create really effective change.
Love it. I've been very entertained by that. Ever since we wanted to have you on the show, I started looking at your page, going, "Oh, you can really get into some of this urban agriculture stuff around here." There's a lot of there's a lot of organizations and farmers markets and all kinds of stuff around that that are happening. The library has seeds you can get. I mean, there's so many different ways to go. So I just thought that was pretty interesting for a person who has the best wings in Nebraska to also be into urban agriculture. So that's what's up. So you bring sides with your wings, is what you're saying.
I make a mean baked beans with apples.
Okay.
Big beans, pork, bacon.
I don't know if you could bring it to the cookout, but I would like to try it first before we. Yeah, this sounds interesting.
We farm girls can cook.
I feel that. That. One last question. I got to throw it out here, or Anthony Rogers Wright's going to come over and beat me up. He says, does the guest believe that OPPD board members should be prohibited from signing NDAs? She is dedicated to making dedicated to making a difference. I'm not sure about the last part of that, but yes, the NDAs. I didn't even know that there was that they were supposed to sign NDAs. Is that?
So repeat the question. It went by too fast for me to read it.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Does the guest believe that OPPD board members should be prohibited from signing NDAs? What data center with data center companies? This is important. Sorry about that. I messed up the question.
Yeah, I don't believe in NDAs.
Yeah,
I think it's a way to make. Period. With anybody, I think. I just, I think it's like the man keeping us down. I don't know a better way to explain it.
Yeah.
Right.
If
right.
you
Like
believe in transparency, then it's hard to believe in signing NDAs for everything, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, why? What are you trying to hide?
Are board members required to do that when we're talking about data centers, though? Do you know about that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm too busy fighting the fight and doing a campaign. I don't know.
Yeah. How's the campaign going, by the way? You feel
good? I mean, I'm literally getting a late start, which is really unusual for me because, again, I had to think about it a long time.
Sure.
But my kickoff is actually next Thursday here in Bellevue.
Okay.
You have an event?
So come on down to DJ's Dugout.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
that
good.
night.
Well, thank you for your time. Really appreciate you coming on and letting us know about this. We've been talking about OPPD. This season is Follow the Money, so we're very much digging in and trying to find out what's going on with everybody's electric bill.
Yeah, I know, right? Mine too.
Yeah, I was happy to see a name I recognize that wants to come in and try to do something about it. You've been an ally in the legislature, so just appreciate you, and I will absolutely be hitting you up about those wings. So
wait, before we get out of here,
and beans.
And the beans.
RG is saying something in the chat. I have to ask: did you go to high school with Michael Myers?
Michael Myers?
No.
The axe murderer?
Oh
no! I was a class of 1979.
Okay.
And I went to Adams Central High School.
You talk about the what Michael Myers you talking about, man?
Isn't Michael Myers the guy with the mask?
Yeah, I mean he's the character, but
like that Michael Myers.
I think he's talking about somebody, actual person named Michael Myers. Though I'm not sure.
No.
Actor?
You mean that guy's not real?
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Had to ask.
Yeah, no, I graduated in 79. I literally moved here the day after high school graduation, got in my car and drove to Omaha.
The big city.
Didn't have a job or anything, just wanted out.
Heard that.
It was a nice place to grow up, but I don't want to live there forever.
Glad you stayed in town. Appreciate it. Oh, he was talking about the Halloween movie. All right. RG the
Ah,
comedian.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought he was being serious.
It was a joke. All right.
Yep, yeah. Well, thanks for your time. We're gonna let you get going, but thank you for that, and maybe we'll have you back and find out some updates on that. Let
Yeah.
us know. Stay in touch. Let us know how the your run is going, and
Yes, yes.
we'll definitely continue to have these conversations about what can be done. We hope you get up in there so we can. You will be elected, and then we'll be talking to you regularly about some changes that can be made there, and keep us
There you
updated.
go.
That would be awesome.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, have a good one. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
guys.
All right. Peace. Man, there you go.
That,
OPPD.
that would be
I've
very
got the
nice to have
power.
some. Say again.
I've got the power.
It'd be very nice to have somebody there that is open to be transparent about what's actually happened there over there at
Man,
OPPD. So yeah, love
no
it.
questions.
Sorry I didn't get to all of the questions. Yeah, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and kind of spill the coffee beans and jump back in. Appreciate everybody that joined us today and had questions for the guests. Thank you, Anthony Rogers. Right, I was hoping that you would have some of these kind of environmental questions ready so that we can get into it and find out where she stands on some things. That's what it is. We'll take a quick break and come right back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. That's me. Buddy the guy. That's it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. Buddy the
Yeah.
God. Boy, I
Yeah.
cannot wait for the Senator Cipher coming up this Monday. I got questions and concerns, like Michelle Trotsker would
Man,
say. I got questions and concerns.
concerns.
Yeah. Wild up there at the legislature right now. Definitely got to check in with Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Terrell
Man,
McKinney. Put some
I
respect on
love
their
it.
names. Tune in for the Monday show for that in a real way. In a
Love to
real
have it. We having a late start again?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, yeah, we are. We're having a late start again. I'm glad you reminded me about that. Yeah, we'll
Yes,
be
sir.
starting
Yes,
at
sir.
8 o'clock on Monday. If you are in Omaha, Nebraska, Central Standard Time, 8 o'clock. And we'll be going from 8 to 10 on Monday to accommodate the senators' schedules because they got kids to take to school and drive up to Lincoln, get going to the legislature, and we'll be talking to them later on in the show. So, yes, late start on Monday again, 8 to 10. Senator Cipher is going down. Get your questions ready. I know I got a lot. I got some questions.
Yeah, man. Man, looking
Real.
forward.
Yep.
In the
Uh,
meantime, how you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Just considering a lot of the stuff, a lot of the things that Anthony Rogers Wright saying in the chat, and what Wanda Lewis is saying, and other people that have these same kind of concerns. This has been something that we've been talking about for a long time. Shout out to Anthony Rogers Wright bringing out Dr. Cornell West. I remember that commercial, him standing out
Man,
there like, "Oh, shame on you, PPD." And
man.
yeah, it was powerful because we've been hearing it for years, and it's real. Got a lot of my cousins got asthma that live in the area,
Man.
and you can't tell me that it ain't because of this coal plant, this environment. I'm worried about the family that I got now coming up in it right this minute, and that's just what it is. So it's going to be kicked down the road, and we kind of know why.
Hmm.
Uh,
Man.
yeah.
I actually want to talk about that, for a little more in the
Mm.
second hour as to why and what's going on and um what can we do about it, if we can get to that point. But I definitely appreciate what the chat is saying as well, as you mentioned, Sister Wanda Lewis, talking about the jobs and the impact of all of it.
Hmm.
And really the cross section, that's kind of how we get down here on this show as far as making the connections of a lot of the things that seem to be going on It really is all connected. So this cross section between our power plants, the AI data centers, and following the money, what's going on with the workforce is all coming to a head. But again, in the chat, really quickly, Wanda Lewis says, I live within a mile of the power plant. My daughter developed asthma as an infant. So again, showing the real life impacts, even despite, reports coming out trying to tell us not to believe our own lived experience, which is crazy.
That
But
was
as
one
far
of
as
the most audacious things. That was the most ridiculous thing ever when they did
man,
that.
man, like we don't have people in our community that have lost loved ones due to asthma. Like my cousin wasn't in a coma because of asthma, but yet it's all of our imaginations. But again, as I continue, also in the chat, Wanda Lewis talking about the impact of AIs on jobs. Again, Senator Carol Blood said that she believed jobs, this will bring not many jobs, but high-paying jobs. Just wanted to clarify on that. But even those high-paying jobs aren't going to stick around for long. Wanda Lewis saying if there are any, she says they will bring their own employees. Actually, so again, whether or not what that means for workers in the community. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright says not permanent jobs though. Talking about again AI, he says the whole point of AI is to reduce the number of human jobs, not increase them. Amazon is the richest company in the world, and they're about to cut 30,000 jobs because of AI. And it's not just stopping there, but the impact of AI, data centers, and really our power grids, and the workforce is reaching almost every industry and hitting home for us in the media industry. Isn't necessarily a story we pull, but let me know if you heard about this, Paul. Hearst Corporation, again, several employees, actually the union of Hearst Corporation. Again, Hearst is one of the mega publishers, publishing companies in this nation. And unionized staffers from Hearst walked out earlier this week in regards to contract negotiations behind AI. Again, the Hearst magazine unions walkouts here at Hearst Tower in Manhattan and Hearst offices in Los Angeles, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Alabama. The members of the Hearst magazine's union are walking off the job today because our contract has expired and management is still refusing to address all of our concerns and demands. We are returning unconditionally to work and to a bargaining table on Wednesday, February 4th. We believe a fair deal for all union members is not just possible, but imperative. Again, central to some of these negotiations is AI and the use of these companies' AI, or the use of the company's use, excuse me, of AI, and again, in lieu of writers, graphic designers, and other workers who work for these magazines and newspapers. So again, and it's not just stopping there. Of course, there is now possible mass layoff from the Washington Post, which also has a connection to the broligarchs, the tech industry, and just what's going on with the data centers at large. But before we get into that, Paul, have you heard about this mass walkout from Hearst? And what say you about what we're seeing with AI?
I definitely read a headline on it. There's several people that are doing this because of this kind of generated for me out in California. Hollywood has really
Mm-hmm.
been doing the same thing, stepping out, and especially with the AI being able to take over people's likeness and everything that else is happening there, writer strikes and everything that's going on. Kind of started there for me, but and I kind of figured this would happen, and it's gonna continue to happen. I think there's going to always be any type of shift in technology is going to result in people, bucking against it because it is gonna shift jobs and get rid of things. So I can very much understand it, but I also understand that there's going to be kind of no stopping a lot of this stuff. We're in this industry, and there's no way that the job of a graphic designer, for instance, can remain what it is with the ability to have AI do a lot of that work. It was already kind of moving in that direction in the first place, and so there is some adjustment of change that has to be made. There is some stuff I definitely can feel that there needs to be some pushback on. But I also feel like this is a tool that democratizes a whole lot in a lot of ways too. So I go back and forth about it. I know what it takes to be able to run AI, and I'm not really down with the environmental aspect of that and the way that our
Mm-hmm.
electricity bills are up because of it and what happens with data centers and so on. But I'm also small business owner that has to use use it in a bunch of different ways in order for us to have us to be able to have a business and have a cost effective situation, and utilize some of these tools to do that. And it's really in the news and it's huge right now because when we think of AI, we think Chat GPT and all that kind of stuff. Now, we really kind of been using a lot of AI this whole time,
Yeah.
in other ways, in other parts of our the tech that we use to do anything. It's been going on for like the last 10 or 12 years, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Stuff that we use that is not, just because now we have this large language model, we can ask the AI in plain language, doesn't mean that we weren't using the AI before in other ways. So that's what it is. Pops in the chat says, I'm a singer, songwriter, and author. AI is already putting me and other creatives out of business.
Big time.
Interesting.
Big
Yeah.
time. And it's already gone.
Yeah.
Like the AI bubble is already gone.
The AI bubble's already gone. Yeah. But there's going to be a shift. I mean, there's just absolutely a shift. There's get rid of, even in the financial world right now. Speaking of follow the money, the financial world, there was a report this morning about AI finally, fine tuning its grip on a lot of these industries, to where they're on the verge now of being eliminated, and AI is just really going to kind of take over that. What is that going to mean? Claude, they specifically named Claude AI, which is a huge, but I'm also hearing other reports about stuff like this. Just because Claude and these other AI agents can write code, they still need coders. They still need coders in order to be able to uh, uh, make the right prompts, check the right things, fix the right things. It's not there yet
For now.
for now. For now, and some people are saying it's never really going to get there without having, when human beings need a thing, they need something specific. AI can get close, but you need to fine tune it as well. So there, it's just it's a lot. I mean, Pops, you're talking about you being a singer songwriter, author. We also use AI to clean up the language of the books we write, and it's helped that part. Like we don't need to have to pay a publisher sometimes because we can get at least the at least some of the first levels of publishing can be taken care of with AI now and straighten out the language that we're trying to bring. So there's a lot of uses that we have to think about as well. But there you go.
Yeah, and that's my point. As far as whether or not AI will completely replace human workers, I don't think we'll ever get there. I just I don't think we'll ever get there. To your point, there's going to be need for even people to repair the computers and the machines that the AIs are running on. Like somebody got turned the screw, somebody got to connect the motherboard. Like somebody has to build these computers. Well, for now, but what I'm thinking about also is even in the advent of humans, let's keep it in the realm of music. I'm sitting here looking at my musical equipment. There's stem separation. There's automatic EQing. There's like AI is so now. Like what I mean by the bubble being burst, we all are using AI whether you know it or not.
Right.
We're all using it whether you know it or not. It's just so intrinsic. It's so woven into the fabric of the technology that's running now. You can't get away from it. If you search anything on Google, the first thing you're going to get is an AI response, whether you want to or not.
And even before they started, they were giving AI responses. AI was determining what you were finding when it was just the old school Google.
Fair
So
point.
it's only the language model that's different now. It's only those things are how it's presented to us has changed a lot. But it's been in the background running this whole time. RG in the chat says once you give your AI your information. No, that's Ariel's 402. He says once you give AI your information, they can use it to create an alternative reality in the future for some. I feel that also. RG says, "Pops, there's still huge demand for original music. I see a lot of pushback on a lot. I see things more than I see things when it comes to this as more change than anything else. A change in tools. The worst part about this change in tools for me is the environmental effects of what the how of the tools how the tools have to be run. That's the worst part. The data centers to me is the worst part of these tools. I think there's always going to be a shift in technology that's going to make parts of things obsolete, parts of things are not. At the same time, you're saying Pops is saying this is putting him out as a songwriter and an author. People are also real tired of AI slop, Pops. They don't want to read no more, see no more AI stuff.
You can hear me.
There's the rise of vinyl and tapes and CDs is back, and people are asking for original music. There's it's not even a pushback. It's a human things the humans just need, and they're not getting it from all this AI slop out here, and they still go after what they got to go after. I don't ever think that's going to change. I see it as a change in tools. They need to figure out a way to make the tool happen without it being killing the environment and running up everybody's bill and everything else that's happening with the data centers. But and the other part is too, man, there's a whole movement of people that are creating their own mini data centers at their home and not relying on cloud stuff for a lot of stuff too. That's a big chunk of it as well. But another and also localized AI models as well. So there's
Read my
you know
mind. Read my
yeah,
mind.
man, there's a lot. It's a lot to it. And I'm trying to get down, like, we only got a few more minutes in the show, so I'm trying to kind of get down to what I'm saying about where this is going. There's big changes that are happening, but I also feel like that's all they really are big changes. What I'm really scared about is the data centers, and what I'm really scared about is how people like ICE and everybody else is using AI to track you all around the world, everywhere, and all that. Like those are the nefarious ways that people are using this tech is what I'm more concerned with than the actual tech.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That
Facial recognition and on the street and all that.
Yeah, that just brought up a thought about this whole conversation about right now. There's debates surrounding ICE and their budget, and should we abolish ICE? Should we change their training policy? Should we force them to wear body cameras? All of these questions are being presented, and it is interesting that the body camera aspect of it all has been presented in a frame of surveillance and on the public, to a couple years ago the whole body camera thing was pushed as a solution to help curtail police brutality, but we know even with the body cam footage that the police still control it, so it's still up to the police to release it, to hide it, to was the body camera even on at that time? We don't know for sure. They could delete the footage and say, oh yeah, the officer forgot to turn it on. That has happened many times. So to that point, more data centers or more body cameras and all these Waymos. Like I've said it multiple times. I think all these Waymos, if you don't know, Waymos, the alternative or the autonomous cars with all the cameras on them, that's Waymo surveillance. That's what that is.
It's way more than it used to be. That's for sure.
Man, and again, surveillance is a telltale red flag sign of a police state, which we've been saying we're in.
You ever go to Baker's and you see these machines that are in the parking lot with these big blue lights shining on you? That's all surveillance.
It's all surveillance. It's all surveillance. Flock cameras, all of it. And again, where's that data going to go? Where is all that data going to be housed?
Palantir got a whole lot of it in having they got contracts with ICE. Somebody's fighting there's a couple judges that are fighting the IRS, giving a bunch of data on undocumented people from the IRS. Don't want to do it, and there's the real wars that are going on here have to do with this data exchange.
So let's talk about this because a cross section between the tech, the data centers, and information and communication. This Washington Post story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the role that the oligarchs are playing in this, and how they're kind of, because you mentioned the Palantir of it all, and I like how you're framing this, because you said AI is just a tool, and with anything, the tool is just a tool. It's who's using it, who's controlling the tool, and what are they using the tool to do, is the point. And so I'm glad you're framing it that way, because when you put that into perspective, then really it does come into question the Palantir and the Broligarch and the Jeff Bezos of the world.
Mm.
What are they doing?
Mm.
And again, if you haven't paid attention to what's going on with the Washington Post, it is the latest chapter in what the Broligarchs are up to in controlling the news and controlling not just the flow of data, but the flow of information. We already talked about Oracle and what they're doing with CBS, and now Jeff Bezos playing a role in the layoff, the mass layoff of Washington Post employees. Actually, one of the largest. They're calling it a bloodbath, an absolute bloodbath, as reported by The Guardian. Again, the Washington Post laid off hundreds of employees on Wednesday, which his former executive director said ranks among the darkest days in the newspaper's history. Staffers at the Post have been on edge for weeks, according to the article, about the rumored cuts, which the publication would not confirm or deny. It's an absolute bloodbath, says one employee not authorized to speak publicly. During a morning meeting announced the changes, the editor-in-chief, Matt Murray, told employees that the Post was, quote-unquote, undergoing a strategic reset to better position the publication for the future. Murray also acknowledged that the Post had struggled to reach customers and talked about the need to compete in a crowded media marketplace, saying today the Washington Post is taking a number of actions across the company to secure our future. One second, getting to the Bezos of it all. Again, the affected employees include Carolyn O'Donovan, who primarily covers Amazon, the company founded by, of course, Post owner Jeff Bezos. So again, Bezos, to be clear, is the owner of the Post. So whose future is being secured? I'll let you figure that out for yourself. Again, other staffers, including sports journalist Neil Greenberg, have also announced that they were affected. One editor in particular was laid off on Wednesday, laid much of the blame at the feet of the Post publisher Will Lewis, who did not speak on the company's morning conference call, saying Will Lewis's legacy will be having enabled Bezos to tank an American institution, and he wasn't even brave enough to face his staffers more than once in the tenure at the Post. Embarrassing to say the least. So again, what we're seeing is another media conglomerate, another media corporation being undermined and whittled away from the inside, or from the top down, really, similar to what we're seeing with CBS and many, many other publications. Hearst, we just talked about it. What say you, Paul?
Yeah, what's striking me, what's standing out to me about this story is the different. So first of all, Washington Post newspaper institution was there covering what's going on in what is arguably the most important area in the world, which is American politics in DC. That this newspaper has always covered this. When Bezos bought it for hundreds of millions of dollars, there was interviews. They played past interviews of him, saying this is a very important institution. I wanted to make sure I was getting into something that really meant something. I wanted to make sure that it was going to stay. Of course, this was around the time when internet was popping up and with taking over as far as the news was concerned. So a lot of papers were going under. Our own Omaha World Herald laid off a whole bunch of people. This has been going on for years. The shift in news delivery, and so he kind of went in there with this kind of attitude: I'm going to save the Washington Post because it's such an important institution. And he was in there for a while. Of course, there's been some years where Trump has had something to say about the reporting there. He's been on the wrong side of it a few times, and it seemed like he was going to kind of hold tight. Did not. In the end, they're saying a lot of these shifts and stuff are happening because of the fact that the administration wants these shifts to happen. He's kind of buckling a little bit on this. Of course, he's probably losing a bunch of money on it as well. But the cuts, this bloodbath they're talking about it's like the whole foreign reporter department. There's nobody going overseas now to Gaza or anywhere else reporting from
How convenient.
this paper. The whole sports section is gone, and apparently there's several sections and several departments there they're just straight up cut. So I just think about that's a huge piece of it, and it's also what jumps in my brain too about this is it's Bezos. He's one of the oligarchs that we are talking about all the time. He's one of the ones standing next to Trump, next to him, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all these folks. And we keep coming back to this idea, like we're speaking right now on one of the oligarchs platforms, right this minute, and what and if we weren't able to do that, then how would we be communicating? We have to go back to figuring this part out, because this is where we're at. We're not going to get, it's getting worse. We're not going to get news. Actual journalists are being laid off. Where do we get? Who's going to tell us? The state? Who's going to tell us what's going on? We going to rely on the state to tell us what's happening, like other countries.
State sponsored media.
State sponsored media, bro, for real. And think about who we have as president. He is the media mogul as far as media is concerned. So why wouldn't he want to have a state sponsored media? He already got Truth. He already started his own social media channel. So with everything that's going on like it is, where do you get your news? Where do you go for it? How do you communicate? What are we doing?
What we are doing is stepping into an authoritarian government. I couldn't even say it.
Mm-hmm.
We're stepping into an authoritarian government. We're stepping into what everybody anticipated, a dictatorship.
Look at Pops is reminding me, laid off and arrested. What happened with Don Lemon? What happened with?
Yeah. Thank you. Laid off and arrested, and it's not just stopping there. Again, all that we're seeing with the media is a telltale sign, page 1, chapter 1, 101 of dictator textbook. Control the media. Step 1, control the media. What's step 2? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Control the elections. Per the Political report just coming out, I'm sure you've heard the reports all throughout this week, because Trump has now doubled and tripled down on this statement that he believes Republicans should, quote unquote, nationalize elections. So as we've seen, basically our media industry be nationalized. All the small players get bought out. Now the big players are being undermined. Our media is being nationalized. We just talked about it. State sponsored. That's what state sponsored media is. And now talks of the elections being nationalized. This again being reported by Politico. President Donald Trump on Monday said Republicans should nationalize elections, continuing to double down on false conspiracy theories about widespread voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election. The suggestion, which runs contrary to the Constitution's delegation of election administration to the states, comes less than a week after the FBI just came right down the road from where I'm at, 20 minutes away from where I am right now, outside of the Fulton election office headquarters, seizing hundreds of ballots and other voting records from the 2020 election. The Republicans should say, we want to take over. We should take over the voting. Get this, in at least 15 places. I think that's the most telling part about this whole statement, is he's not even hiding or trying to be, to cover up his true intent and angle. He named 15 places, all of them mostly democratically led states. Like, this is a party taking over the nation.
Not to mention, the ICE is also in these 15 places. Not to mention, ICE is also a presence there.
There you go. Dozens of challenges to the results of that election yielded no credible evidence. Again, dozens and dozens of legal battles that yielded no evidence of widespread voter fraud, and both a statewide audit and a recount requested by President Trump verified that former President Joe Biden won Georgia fair and square. And again, there's that infamous phone call from Trump telling election officials in Georgia to find his votes, to find them. I don't care where, to find my votes. I need 30,000 votes. Find them.
Sure did.
and he's still looking for him. He's still looking for him. So, what can we do here in this last 11 or so minutes of the show? We get to the point.
Well, before that, I got one more point to make before then,
Okay.
and
What
that
you got?
has
What you got?
that
What you
has
got?
to do with ICE being in those areas. I don't know if you guys saw this, but on our Instagram page, we had a Instagram feed that showed one of the directors saying ICE is going to be monitoring all these sites, and they're going to stop all this corruption at the poll. So so they're going to use their little private army. They're talking about using their little private army to go ahead and get out there to monitor the polls. So when the voting does happen, then there might be some intimidating presence there. And like Buddy was just explaining, he's saying, we want to control this in about 15 spots, democratically led places. Same thing he said about where ICE needs to go and shut down these protesters and so on. They'll be there, be in town. There's a something like 10,000 ICE agents that are moving out of Minneapolis, and they were trying to act like that was some great news. And where are they going next? Well, we have a couple places that we're going to send those people next. So they're going to be around. This is not calming down at all. And if you think that you're not going to see some more violence and some more mess happen around election time, that has to do with so-called keeping the election straight, enforcing it with their little private armies. That's what's up. That's what's happening. Marlon Harrison in the chat. This darkness won't last. I still have hope that this country will truly fight. While the devil is winning is right now. While the devil is winning right now, it won't win in the end.
I don't even know if the devil is winning. I mean, the devil is
if he's
active.
winning now. Yeah,
the
active.
devil is active. I don't know if the devil is winning. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
The devil is
Like
active.
like De La Soul just said, the devil is alive and with the task force.
Man. Hello. There you go.
So what do we do? We're back to that. We got about 9 minutes left in the show, and we always get to that part. Where are we at? Where do we stand? I put the question out a little earlier about communication. But where do we stand on the rest of it? What's the questions on what we stand on what, buddy? What's on your mind on that?
Well, my first thought is where we always land in communication. That's our lane. That's where we are. And I'm putting this information out not to shock and awe, not to put in a state of fear, but to inform so you can know what's going on, so you can act accordingly and move accordingly. And painting the picture that we need it all. I don't want to say go to the polls, and that's not it. But yes, you do need to go to the polls. You know what I mean? We also need to figure out cooperative ecosystems. We need to I've said it before. It's time to reimagine. It's time to reimagine everything from the ground up. And we haven't even really talked about the Epstein side of it all. But if people are held accountable to the level that they need to be held accountable, we're going to have to start over because everybody going to jail.
Which I just can't see happening. I've lost all faith in any movement there. I don't even hardly pay attention to that mess anymore. People are still mad. There's still stuff coming out. More pages have come out. What's happening? Anybody getting arrested, indicted?
Well, I mean, that can change if we got people in seat. You know what I mean? Like it's all the time is now. It's all come to a head. We can let it go, or we can get people in position who care, who is actually going to hold pedophiles accountable. Like, this is what we're dealing with in this country. This is it. Where do we go from here? Do we allow pedophilia, or do we hold it accountable?
Do we allow poll intimidation,
or do we hold it accountable? And if we allow pedophilia and poll intimidation and corruption blatantly, that can be proven, then what's next? Where does it stop? We know what's next. They're already buying the warehouses. They're already unaliving people. We know what's next. Are we okay with that? Is the question.
Anthony Rogers Wright seems to think people are too comfortable to fight. So again, America isn't the way it is because he's president. He's president because this is the way America is and has always been.
And I would have
Uh,
to agree. What we're seeing is not shocking. What we're seeing is the reality of what America has been, even down to the Epstein files. Should I remind you that slavery was nothing but a human trafficking ring? That's all it was.
and it
They
was
ate us
legal.
then. They raped us then. They traded us and moved us then. This is nothing new. Nothing, none of this is new.
Nobody's
We're
paid
only
for
being
that yet.
confronted with it. We're only being confronted with it. And now that we're being confronted with it, what are we going to do about it? Nothing.
Tis the question. So yeah, we got to keep on throwing some things out there as far as solutions are concerned. RG says, like BZ mentioned on a recent show, get them things ready. Yeah, who said that?
Vic Mensa.
Big Mensa. Yeah. So hard times ahead for
Yeah.
sure.
I don't even know if hard times is it. I don't even know. Like it's not even really a hard fight. It's not hard to prove the corruption. It's not hard to prove that they broke the law. It's not hard to prove that they need to go to jail. It's not hard. None of this is hard. We just have to have the gumption to get up and do it.
That's not the hard part comes when everybody when it's now it doesn't matter if something was against the law if we're not upholding we're not upholding law. So this is where I get frustrated because judges could be doing something, but if the judge comes and says they need to, they broke the law, then what's gonna happen? They're gonna go send the police to the White House. You know what I'm saying? Like what the whole point of this part is that it doesn't matter anymore. The rule of law is something that has been all the way dismissed with this administration and what's going on in our society right now. They can break the law and do all these things and not receive any repercussions. They can use the law to try to act like we out here marching and doing something wrong. There's no integrity with the law anymore. So if you say somebody's doing something against the law, who's going to enforce the breaking of that law if the powers that be are in control of the enforcers? So the issue is way deeper than just they broke the law and we can prove that and now we got to do the point is what you gonna do about it, because that's basically what this administration is saying to everybody all the time. Well, what you gonna do about it?
Well, my question is again, do we have a constitution?
Nobody's
Do you
respecting and upholding this thing. We have one. We're the only ones acting like it exists.
okay, then at some point are we going to stand on it? Do we believe that we have the freedom of speech? Do we believe that we have the right to assemble in the face of a tyrannical government?
The question is, do we believe that we have the right to enforce the law and the Constitution?
I mean,
Because that's
we're
all that's
asking, yeah,
next.
we're asking the same question. We're asking the same question. Because if we don't, then what does that mean?
That's where I think that nobody does. Nobody considers themselves law enforcement. Nobody's actually going to be like, well, if the police aren't, they're not going to enforce the law, I'm going to go enforce the law, knowing that they'll be standing up in front of ICE, they'll be standing up in front of the police, they'll be standing up in front of the sheriff, they'll be standing up in front of the National Guard, they'll be standing up in front of the Army, according to how Trump acts like he's going to deploy them. Who is now going to be the enforcers of the law and the Constitution? That's my question.
I guess what I'm saying is if not the people, then who? And maybe that's what you're saying as well.
Well, I'm saying what I'm saying. If not the people, it's not the people. Does the people think they have the right to do that? Does the people are even people even thinking in that direction that they have to become law enforcement?
I would say yes. If you're in this country and you don't think that you have a duty to do anything to make sure this country is running the way it's supposed to, then you're mistaken.
So, what do you do to enforce the law? Go next door,
What you
grab a
can
neighbor, and run
legally.
up into the White House.
I wouldn't say run into the White House, but first of all, start with communication. Inform yourself. What are your rights? Do you know what the Constitution consists of? What are your rights? And I mean, let's not act like we don't have an international community. That we got to understand the whole point of law and order, for real, not just how Republicans use it, but law and order. And injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. Colombia has skin in the game, because if Colombia sits and let America do this to them, who's going to stop America from doing it to Colombia? Where do we have order and peace as a human family? What are we doing? Is there not? What are we doing? Are we going to destroy ourselves? Or are we going to act like we're a society of people? What are we doing? I keep asking this question. The United States does not exist in a vacuum. What happens in other countries when that country is violating its people? The United States steps in. We as a people, what do you think Malcolm X was doing when he died? He went to the United Nations to what's the word? He went to the United Nations to plead to an international community, to appeal, thank you, to appeal to the international community for human rights and justices, because the human family has skin in the game to uphold human rights, which is why I talk about black and white and why we have to fix the Negro problem, because as blacks, we're not viewed as humans. And all of this is why we're dealing with this, because we have not solved all of this. We have not addressed any of this. An injustice everywhere, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. We let this whole white lie continue. We let America stratify black people. That led to the Nuremberg laws, which led to the Holocaust, which, come on, man. Are we going to allow the world to keep playing itself? Or are we going to fix this? What are we doing?
Good question.
I have nothing else to say.
Yeah. Nothing else to say. Appreciate you guys joining us today and joining in on this conversation and hearing that. The conversation gets to the point of what are we doing about what we just talked about. If that's where we're stuck, and we got to come back and figure that part out, and that's what's up. That's what's next. So yeah. Again, anybody got some solutions? Hit us up. First Guy Omaha group page, friends of First Guy Omaha on Facebook. Send us an email. Let us know what we should be doing. firstguyomaha@gmail.com. And we appreciate everybody who's on that for sure. I think we have a very full grasp of what's happening here. Biko Kwanzaa in the chat. Good morning. Says I enjoy watching Cowboys because it teaches us a lesson about the rule of law versus the bad guys. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Also earlier, I was trying to get what you said earlier. Oh, he said, Brother Malcolm said they will make the media and the people in the middle like criminals, and the criminals look like the good people. That's what media can do. That's what media's been doing. I don't think anybody is confused about this master narrative media has been trying to put out. Some people gravitate towards it because they want that story. But they know that the story is a lie. Everybody knows that story is a lie. Everybody knows the law is being broken. It only comes down to what like you saying, what we doing.
What we doing? Do we live in a lawless society or not? You tell me.
There it is. It's 9:03 right now. We're going to go ahead and let it go. I want you guys to think about some of these things. Have a good weekend. If you have any solutions, let us know. We'll definitely be talking to the senators about what can be done in the lane of political power on Monday when they come and join us for the Senator's Cipher. Again, that'll be a show that starts at 8 o'clock instead of 7. So it'll be 8 to 10 on Monday, and we'll be speaking to Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on their names for the Senator's Cipher on Monday, and we'll see what's going on there in that fight. And, we'll have to figure it out. And we'll keep on having the conversation, keep on getting to the point of figuring out exactly what can happen. I don't want to leave it like we haven't figured anything out, because what we do know is that this is an election season. Need to get people in some seats in order to change some laws. There's still a lot of people that believe in law. There's still a lot of people that believe in the Constitution that want to live by that. If some of those people can get in the seats, that'll help. Also, defending our own rights is another part of this. If it comes down to it, who's going to be the ones who are actually enforcing these things called laws? That's a good question. Don't quite know how that's going to go down, because right now we're too busy just trying to stay alive from little private armies that are and law enforcement that are running around here stifling our movements. So again,
Man,
we gotta keep on trying to think about it and figure it out.
you see the Italian version of MAGA, make
Mm-mm.
America go away.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Tough. Bika Kwanzaa says, I like when I hear the guys speak the truth. I wish more listen to him and educate themselves. For lack of knowledge of people suffer. Peace. You talking about Brother Malcolm? Also, Wanda Lewis says, I'm here to learn as well as to be opinionated and ask questions. I heard that.
Man, straight up.
Pop says, love the show. Everybody have a great weekend and see you on Monday. Appreciate that. Wanda Lewis says, I'm also supportive in what I believe in. Love to hear about that. She says it's rough out here. You have to multitask.
Man, tell me about it. Gotta
Hard
run
out here.
business, raise business.
Yes, it
Man.
is.
Man.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate it, buddy. You got any words for the people?
Big shout out to our special guest today, Sister Carol Blood, for stopping through. Best wishes to you on your campaign for District 3 OPPD board. Also, big shout out to all of you, the listeners, the ghost listeners, the chat chimers, monitoring spirits. Yeah, hopefully you learned something. Man, yeah, let's come back and do this again. Catch the same time, same place. Well, I guess not necessarily same time. We start a little later on Monday, but you can catch the same place Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul.
In the morning.
Hey, with that, take it away, man.
Right on. Last chance to get some free tickets to one of these films here. Dry Longzo is playing on February 19th at the Ruth Sokoloff Theater. Shout out to Film Stream 6:30. Go and like and subscribe on YouTube, and then hit us up with an email letting us know that you want to go to this screening right here. firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. Appreciate that. Also, a couple more that's coming tomorrow. February 7th is happening at 2:30. This is Straight No Chaser with Thelonious Monk. That's happening February 7th, and then also February 11th. And do the same thing. Go like and subscribe over on YouTube. Hit us up on firstskyOmaha@gmail. Let us know which date you're trying to get tickets for, and then we'll pick from the pool of folks and get some free tickets out to you on that probably today. Also, today is Friday, so be looking for the weekly wrap newsletter that drops at about 4 o'clock today. And yeah, definitely, if you have not signed up for the weekly wrap newspaper, please do so. Let me see if I can grab the link real quick for you. But yeah, please do that. That is kind of one of the places that we are absolutely deciding we need to continue to hold the conversation. And if anything goes down with these social media channels, then the email is going to be even more important than that. More important than it is right now. But yeah, let's go ahead and contact each other via email. Sign up for the weekly wrap. Here is the weekly wrap link right here. Appreciate you very much on that one. Also, it is Friday, so do not forget there is a bunch of First Friday stuff going on right now as well. Of course, we have the First Fridays in the Village at 24th and Lake. Shout out to the Empowerment Network, Revive, Black History Museum, the Union for Contemporary Art, One Potato, Empowerment Network, everybody who's behind this event. Just Be Danny Cleveland. Man, there's a lot of folks that are going to be out here playing some music. There's going to be actually art exhibits, all kinds of stuff going on. As a matter of fact, I think I heard that the North Omaha Visitor Center over there is going to be open with some events happening on this night as well. So this is actually tonight from 5:30 to 9:30. Definitely check it out. And if you're on other sides of town and want to check something else out, don't forget about BFF, our partners over there. They have the February 1st Friday going on tonight at the Benson Creative District as well. So definitely check out some art. Try to smell the coffee beans, get your mind right a little bit on the fact that whatever fighting we're doing, we're out here fighting because we want to live a life of beauty and art in that way. And I really appreciate that very much. Oh, do you have a link for the library takeover? That is a good question. I was trying to find that, Pops.
I'm grabbing it now.
Are you grabbing it now? Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. Appreciate that, reminding us about that. Library takeover is happening for sure. Let me find the link to.
I just dropped it in there.
Oh, you got it in the. All right, cool. Let me grab that real quick.
Yeah,
Thanks for that, Pops. The book drop is going down. We took it over. Everybody. When I tell people about it, they're like, "What? Really? Like the Omaha? Which library? That's the Omaha Public Library. We took it over. Took over the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Pretty interesting one. Let us know. Listen to it and let us know what you think about it. It's dropped today. So shout out to our partners over there at Omaha Public Library and the book drop team, Amy Mather and all of them. Appreciate them very much. So yeah, definitely check this out and let us know what you think on that. And we'll talk about it on Monday as well. So again, just to reiterate, Monday we won't start until 8:00. It'll be 8 to 10 on Monday, but it'll also be the Senator Cipher. We'll be talking to the senators one more time on Monday to talk a little bit more about what's happening out there in the unicameral for sure. Because there's been some drama happening out there in a big way. With that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We appreciate everybody who joined us today and went through the range of emotions with us for sure.
Man.
Happy birthday, Pops. Appreciate you, Pops. Appreciate you, RG. Yeah.
It's Aquarius season.
Is that what it is? Aquarius? I don't keep track of it. It's Aquarius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aquarius and Gemini running.
Anyway.
Hey.
It's him and I, Aquemini.
Hey.
On down. All right, we'll see you on Monday. Thank you. Shout out to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the Chat Chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thank you. If you missed any parts of the interview today with Carol Blood, please go back and check it out on YouTube. It's very informative. It's really going to fire up this conversation about what needs to happen over at OPPD in a big way. So shout out to her for agreeing to come on. And we will continue to question them situations till my electric bill goes down considerably.
Get your hand out my pocket.
Get your hand out my pocket. All right, we out of here. Aquaman in the rain. Crazy.
Happy birthday, Pops.
Right on, Pops. Peace. We out.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the Red